Good morning, all. Today we discuss the topic small oscillations in a bound system. In the previous sessions, we have discussed about bounded motion, unbounded motion, and energy diagram, and about stability. Now we are going to analyze the small oscillation in a bound system. We are taking the example of interatomic potential. In the figure, the interatomic potential energies curve is drawn, and the potential energy corresponding for a harmonic oscillator, also shown as dotted lines. When we looking at the diagram, it is clear that the potential energy is minimum at the point that is denoted by R0, or we can say that it must be the equilibrium point. And here when we comparing the two energy diagrams, we can obtain that this potential energy it has a parabolic shape, nearly a parabolic shape, like a harmonic oscillator potential. And then if the total energy is sufficiently low, then the motion of the atom is restricted to the region where the curve is closely parabolic. So if the energy is very low, if the energy low as this one, then look at this. Then if the energy is this, at this point, the curve is closely parabolic. So it is nearly equal to the potential energy curve of harmonic oscillator, or the system must behave like a harmonic oscillator. Now we are going to analyze each mathematically. For that, we choose the method of Taylor series expansion. This is from differential calculus. You will study the Taylor series expansion and your subject of mathematics in detail soon. Okay. So here by the Taylor series, we can expand a well-behaved function, well-behaved differentiable function, well-behaved differentiable function about a given point. Okay, it is like if f of x is a function it is differentiable means it must have derivative. It is differentiable or it must have differentiable that df divided by dx, or it is written by it denoted by f dash x. Okay, and f double dash x, it is d square f divided by dx square. And so here f of x is a differentiable and it is well behaved means it must be continuous function. You know that to find the derivative of some functions, it must have some criteria. Okay, so here we find the Taylor series expansion of the function f of x about a point x is equal to x0. Okay, here we assume x0 is some point or f of x0 is known to us. Okay, and we expand the function f about some x, but that x is equal to x0 plus h, where h is some small quantity. Okay, so by the Taylor series, we can find f of x. Actually, it is f of x0 plus h, that is equal to f of x0 plus h into f dash of x0. Actually, it is divided by 1 factorial. 1 factorial is 1. Okay, plus h square into f double dash of x0 divided by 2 factorial. 2 factorial also is equal to 2. Okay, plus etc. Here in your mind, it must have what is h here? H is equal to, here h is equal to actually x minus x0. And what is f dash x0. X0 is some point. Okay, so actually f dash x0 is df divided by dx. You have find the derivative of f with respect to x, and we substituted. After that we have to substitute x is equal to x0. Okay, that is written as f dash x0, or it is written df divided by dx at x is equal to x0. Okay, this is the expansion, and after that there may be h cube divided by 3 factorial f triple dash of x0 plus h raised to 4 by 4 factorial f quadruple dash of x0 plus etc. It is maybe tends to infinity, infinite terms. You must we can return. Okay, so this is the expansion of the function using Taylor series. This mathematical rule to be used in the case of potential energy function. So in your mind, just take these quantities. F of x must be equal to f of x0 plus, in this position it is x minus x0 f dash of x0, and x minus x0 whole square divided by 2 f double dash x0 plus etc. Okay, and here we expand our function, that is u of r. Okay, you know about the potential energy at that position, u of r0. U of r0 is known. Okay, here at that point the potential energy is minimum. Okay, and here you have to obtain u of r. Actually here the difference between r and r0. Okay, actually it is here r minus r0 is equal to h, or r is equal to r0 plus h. As h is very small, we can neglect the higher term. I write the expansion as we done in the previous slide. How can be written? It is u of r is equal to u of r0 plus, then h. In the place of h, we must write r minus r0, then u dash of r0, or we write as in the textbook, that is du divided by dr at r is equal to r0 plus r minus r0 whole square into d square u divided by dr square at r equal to r0 plus etc. Here we consider only the three terms, because we know that r minus r0 must be a small quantity, then in the next term, r minus r0 whole cube must come. It is very, very small, then we can neglect. So because then we neglected here the higher terms, and look, du by dr at r equal to r0. Okay, du divided by dr. Okay, we know that as u of r0 is minimum, u of r0 is the minimum potential energy point. So we know that at that point du by dr must be equal to 0. So we have du by dr at r equal to r0 equal to 0. Why? Okay, because u of r0 is minimum, because this quantity is minimum. U of potential energy is minimum. Du by dr must be 0, must vanish for maximum point and minimum point. Here it is a minimum point. Okay, so we can write here, we neglected the higher terms. So here we write u of r is equal to u of r0 plus this term vanishes, then r minus r0 whole square d square u divided by dr square at r is equal to r0. Okay, r is equal to r0. Then so this is in three-dimensional case. Okay, if we consider the one-dimensional case, we can written as, if it is in one dimension, what will be the result? If the potential energy is a function of x, then we have to find the derivative with respect to x. Okay, then the similar quantity can be written as u of x must be equal to u of x0 plus x minus x0 whole square into d square u divided by dx square at x is equal to x0. Okay, so this is the general expression of a potential energy curve. So in the case of a harmonic oscillator, what is the potential energy? Okay, we can write, in the case of, actually we write the potential energy of the harmonic oscillator is written as 1 by 2 k into 1 by 2 k into x minus x0 whole square. Okay, but we know that when we're writing the potential energy, we must include a constant. So I write here, we know that u of x0 is a constant. So I write, in the case of potential energy of harmonic oscillator, u of x is equal to a constant plus 1 by 2 k into x minus x0 whole square. This is the potential energy of harmonic oscillator. Okay, this is the potential energy of harmonic oscillator. Then we compare the two equations. This is the general expression. This is the expression for harmonic oscillator. Then we comparing these two. What we have to get? Just check here, u of x, the constant. U of x is a constant that is known to us. Then x minus x0 whole square, then the remaining quantity d square u divided by dx square at x is equal to x0. In that position there is k. So comparing these two equations, we can identify the effective spring constant in the bound system as, we can written k is equal to what? K is equal to d square u divided by dx square at x is equal to 0. Or if actually it is in 3 dimension, so k is equal to what? K is equal to d square u divided by dr square at r is equal to r0. So this is the relation of spring constant to the potential energy. Okay, because bound system have potential energy minimum at equilibrium, we naturally expect that they will behave like harmonic oscillator for small displacement. Okay, it will be not okay when in some anomalous cases the second derivative vanishes at equilibrium. So here we take the case of d square u by dx square അല്ലെങ്കിൽ sorry d square u divided by dr square not equal to 0. So for this reason, the harmonic oscillator approximation is relevant to the phenomena ranging from molecular vibration to the oscillation of large bodies. Okay. Now we discuss the case of molecular vibration as an extension of small oscillation in bound system. We know that harmonic oscillator approximation is relevant to the molecular vibrations and also to the vibrations of large bodies. So here we consider the case of molecular vibrations as an example of small oscillation in the bound system. So here in the figure, the potential energy of molecule is given for a 2-atom system. Okay, it is this type of potential energy we discussed in the case of energy diagrams. Okay, and here there is 2 masses corresponding for 2 atoms, and we approximate it as an harmonic oscillator. Okay, and the distance between them as r, and the position coordinate for m1 as r1 and m2 as r2, etc. And we also take the equilibrium value of r is equal to r0. Here in the figure, it is clear that it is at r is equal to r0, it is the equilibrium point. There is the minimum value of potential energy take place. With the harmonic approximation or parabola approximation, the molecule can be modeled as shown in figure, with M1 and M2 are connected by a spring of equilibrium length R0 and spring constant K. Okay. So we know that we have written the spring constant K is equal to d square U divided by dr square at R is equal to, here at R, this quantity is at R is equal to R0. Okay. So here our aim is to find the vibrational frequency of the molecule. So to obtain the vibrational frequency, actually what is the vibrational frequency? We have to find the omega. We have to find the value of omega in the case of, just look at this figure. Here 2 masses that is connected by a spring having spring constant K. Okay. This type M1 and M2 are 2 masses. They are connected by a spring of spring constant K. Then we have to find the value of omega here. For that, we have to write the equation of motion of the 2 masses. Okay. What is the equation of motion? If the molecule is vibrating, okay, we can write using Newton's laws. F is equal to m into a. Here it is in the terms of r. Okay, then acceleration F is equal to m into a. M is the mass and a is the acceleration. So using that quantity, we can write the equation of motions. Okay, for the first mass m1, and if r is the position, it is the position between them when it is vibrating. Okay, so when r is the position, r is the position, r dot must be the velocity, r double dot must be the acceleration. So here we take the distance or the coordinate of m1 from the origin as r1. So r1 is the position, so r1 double dot is the acceleration of first one. Okay, that quantity is equal to what? That quantity is equal to what? That is equal to k into, here m into a is equal to the force. Okay, what is the force here? In the case of spring, it is k into r minus r0. Okay, so this is for the first one, and for the second one, m2 r2 double dot is equal to k into r minus r0. Okay, but it is not this one. There is a negative sign. What is the reason? Okay, if it is, if the, we know that the atoms, there may be vibrations, molecular vibration. If it is compressing, okay, in the case of compression, if it is compression, m1 moves in this direction and m2 moves in this direction, in opposite directions. Okay, and if stretching occurs, first case compression, second stretching, in that case what happens? Opposite. In that case, m1 this direction and m2 this direction, then they are opposed to each other. Okay, so we can take any of the case. So in this case, here we take the stretching case, because actually we know that F is equal to ma. In the case of spring, the force is minus k into x minus x0, or minus k into r minus r0. Here, if m2 moving this side, that is the positive direction. So here m2 r2 dot is equal to minus k into r minus r0. But here it is opposite to this one, or this is in negative direction, or the quantity it is from this one. Okay, so it must be the negative of that one. So we write m1 r1 double dot is equal to, actually the force is equal to minus k into r minus r0. Okay, so if the atom, one of the atom moves opposite that of other, so here the negative sign comes, so it cancels. So the equations of motions are m1 r1 double dot is equal to k into r minus r0, and m2 r2 double dot is equal to minus k r minus r0. So these are the equations of motions where r is equal to r2 minus r1. Okay, is the instantaneous separation of the masses. So to find the equation of motion for r, divide the first equation by m1 and the second equation by m2. Okay, then subtract. We know that r is equal to r2 minus r1. Okay, so we have to obtain the equation of motion in terms of r double dot. For that, we taking these two equations. Okay, I write here uh, we dividing this equation. So r1 double dot is equal to k by m1, k by m1 into r minus r0. r2 double dot is equal to minus k by m1, sorry, not m1, m2 into r minus r0. Okay, then subtracting equation 2 from 1, then what will be obtained? r1 double dot by r2 double dot. Okay, that quantity can be written here, r1 double dot minus r2 double dot. r1 double dot must be r1 double dot minus r2 double. Sorry, here we written r2 is greater, so I write here r2 double dot minus, here we define r is equal to r2 minus r1. So we have to write R2 double dot minus R1 double dot. That is equal to what? If we find the second derivative of this equation, then it must be equal to R double dot. So that is equal to this minus this. Then we can take minus k, you can take minus k outside of the equation. Okay, then minus k, then is a common quantity r minus r0, then the remaining one. Here there is a minus k into r minus r0 taken outside, then there is 1 by m2. Okay, then here there is a minus, already we have taken that quantity k into r minus r0 outside, and there is, okay, this one. Okay, so it is actually 1 by m1 plus 1 by m2. Okay, so we take this bracketed term as some mu. Okay, this bracketed term in terms of mu, not it is equal to mu, it is 1 by m2 plus 1 by m1 is taken as 1 by mu. Okay, this is taken as, here I take 1 by m1 plus 1 by m2 as is equal to 1 by mu. Okay, so I write here minus k by mu into r minus r0. Actually, look at here, r double dot is equal to minus k by mu r minus r0, where mu is equal to what? If we take the LCM of this one, then it must be equal to, mu must be equal to m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2. Okay, it must have the dimension of mass and is called reduced mass. For harmonic oscillator, the equation of motion is x double dot is equal to minus k by m x minus x0. The frequency of oscillation is root of k by m. So the frequency of the vibration, actually it is equal to, here if x double dot equal to minus k by m x minus x0, it is for harmonic oscillator, omega is equal to root of k by m. Okay, so here in this case, omega must be equal to what? Omega must be equal to, when we comparing this equation with, what was the equation? R double dot is equal to minus k divided by mu r minus r0. When we comparing these two, omega must be equal to what? Omega is equal to root of k by mu. Okay, then that must be equal to what? Omega is equal to root of K by mu. That is written in terms of potential energy. We know that K is equal to d square U divided by dr square at R is equal to R0 into 1 by mu. Okay. Okay. This vibrational motion characteristics of all molecule can be identified by the light molecule radiates, orbs, absorb. The vibration frequencies typically lie in, it is 10 raised to 14. It is 5 into 10 raised to less than of 5 into 10 raised to 14 hertz. So we can find the value of d square U divided by dr square at R is equal to R0. Okay. So we can find the angular frequency. We obtain the angular frequency as this one. We can find d square U divided by dr square at R is equal to R0. Then we find the angular frequency of the molecule. Now we go into the case of non-conservative forces. Up to yet we have discussed the case of conservative forces. Okay, because of they play an important role in physics, but in many physical processes, non-conservative forces like friction are present. In some cases, if we considering systems, both conservative and non-conservative forces act on a system, act on the same system. For an example, an object falling through air experiences the conservative gravitational force and non-conservative force of air friction. So we can write the total force F as F is equal to F conservative plus F non-conservative. Okay, the total mass, the total force is a combination of sum of conservative force and non-conservative force. So now we writing, now we taking the work energy theorem. The work energy theorem will be true for any system. Okay, if the force is conservative or non-conservative. So the total work F as the particle move from one point to another, we can be written integral how can be written that quantity? If the work done, W total work done must be equal to integral A to B F dot dr. Okay, but here the force is conservative plus non-conservative, so we split it A to B. First one is FC dot dr plus A to B FNC non-conservative dot dr. So this must be equal to what? This must be equal to, we can write this term with in terms of potential energy. Okay, in the case of conservative force, integral A to B FC dot dr, that must be equal to what? Minus UB plus UA. It is for this one. Okay, then this is what, this is the work done in the case of, this is the work done in the case of non-conservative force. This is the work done in the case of non-conservative force. Here U is the potential energy associated with the conservative force, and W NCBA, it is the work done by the non-conservative force. By the work energy theorem, we can written WBA total must be equal to what? Kinetic energy at the point B minus kinetic energy at the point A. So when we substituting that quantity here, we will get minus UB plus UA plus WBA NC, that is equal to what? KB minus K. Or when we arranging this expression, we taking this quantity here, or the potential energy and kinetic energy, sorry, this potential energy this side, and arranging, we will get KB plus UB, okay, plus KA plus UA. Okay, that is equal to what? That is equal to WBA of NC. Okay, if we define the total mechanical energy E by K plus U, then here E is no longer constant here. It depends on the state of the system. So here it is minus, not plus. Look at here, it is minus, and UA must have a minus here. Then it is. Then we have here it is EB minus EA must be equal to WBA and C. Okay. So this result is the generalization of the statement of conservation of mechanical energy. EB minus EA, that is equal to WNC of B. Okay. If here the RHS is 0 or the work done by the conservative force 0, then EB minus EA must be equal to 0. Then mechanical energy is conserved. In general, the effect of conservative forces is to alter the mechanical energy. In particular, we know that the work done by friction is always negative and the mechanical energy then decreases. Now we're going to discuss about the power. Power is the rate of doing work. Okay. Power is the rate of doing work if a force F act on a body which undergoes a displacement dr, then the work is dw is equal to F dot dx. Then the power delivered by the force is obtained by we have to find the derivative. Okay, derivative of the work is power. Then power is dw divided by dt, that is equal to F dot dx divided by dt. So that is equal to F dot dx divided by dt, or that is equal to F dot v, where vx dx by dt is equal to v. Okay. The unit of the power is watt. Okay. In CGS system, it is erg. And the unit of power in the English system, that is horsepower. By English system we means FPS system. Okay. The horsepower is most commonly defined as (550 feet pound per second and it is 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watt. And this horsepower unit also used in um, some cases, that is in the case of electric motors. Okay, we call 1 HP motor, 2 HP motor, like that. Okay, so it is also used by us in some cases. So this is end of the session and end of the chapter also. And the chapter concludes now, the work and energy. Okay, thank you.